Everyone thinks people are broke because they don't make enough money. But that's almost never true. There are people making $40,000 a year quietly becoming millionaires, and people making $200,000 living paycheck to paycheck. So income clearly isn't the real problem. The real problem is the financial operating system most people are running, and they don't even realize they installed it. You didn't consciously choose it. You absorbed it. From parents, school, advertising, co-workers, social media, and culture. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why most people stay broke, even when they earn more than enough not to. And once you see this pattern, you won't be able to unsee it again. The moment someone earns their first paycheck, they're taught the wrong objective. They're taught money exists to be spent. You get paid, celebrate. You get a raise, upgrade. You get a bonus, reward yourself. Nobody ever says, increase your asset ownership. Instead, life becomes a repeating cycle. Make money, improve lifestyle, reset back to zero. Then, repeat for 40 years. This is called lifestyle inflation. And it is the single most powerful wealth killer in existence. Because wealth is not built from income. Wealth is built from the gap between what you earn and what you keep. Most people never widen that gap. They just level up their expenses every time their income rises. A nicer apartment replaces the old one. A new car payment replaces the paid-off car. Subscriptions replace savings. They think they're progressing, but they're just running on a treadmill that speeds up with them. Their financial life expands exactly as fast as their income grows. So despite earning more every year, their freedom never increases. They don't notice the trap because the trap feels like progress. Now here's where it gets dangerous. Modern society rewards looking rich, not becoming rich. Drive a luxury car, people notice. Wear expensive clothes, people compliment you. Live in a high-end building, people assume success. But none of those produce income. They only produce attention. And attention is one of the most expensive things you can buy. The wealthy optimize for ownership. The middle class optimizes for appearance. Ownership pays you. Appearance bills you. Yet most people unknowingly rent status for decades. They finance symbols instead of purchasing freedom. The car impresses coworkers, but delays retirement. The bigger house impresses friends, but increases dependency on employment. So money never begins working for them. They work forever for money instead. There is also a hidden psychological reason this happens. Good financial decisions feel bad in the moment. Bad financial decisions feel good in the moment. Buying liabilities gives immediate dopamine. Buying assets gives delayed reward. Your brain evolved for survival, not compounding interest. It prefers comfort today over security tomorrow. So, when someone invests instead of spends, it feels like loss, even though it's progress. And when someone spends instead of invests, it feels like progress, even though it's loss. This emotional inversion traps almost everyone. They aren't lazy. They aren't stupid. They're following instincts that worked for survival, but fail for wealth. Wealth requires repeatedly acting against your instincts for years. And most people never realize that's the actual game. Now let's talk about the real system wealthy people quietly follow. They do not treat income as spending power. They treat income as asset acquisition power. Every dollar has a job before it arrives. Not, what can this buy me today? But, what can this buy that will pay me later? This single mental shift changes everything. Instead of upgrading life when income increases, they upgrade ownership. Instead of rewarding themselves first, they invest first. Instead of asking what they can afford, they ask what produces income. The process looks boring from the outside. Step 1. Pay yourself first. Step 2, automate investing. Step 3, buy productive assets. Step 4, ignore lifestyle upgrades. Step 5, repeat for a decade. No hacks, no lottery trades, no overnight success, just consistency applied longer than most people can tolerate. Here's why this feels strange to watch. Real wealth is quiet. For years it looks like nothing is happening. No visible upgrade, no dramatic change, no sudden breakthrough. Just small purchases of ownership over and over again. But beneath the surface, something invisible is growing. Time, compounding, momentum. Then eventually the income produced by assets crosses a line. It exceeds expenses. And at that moment, the rules of life permanently change. Not because income increased, because dependency disappeared. Most people spend their life increasing income. Wealth builders spend their life decreasing required effort. One chases more money forever. The other requires less money forever. That is the real difference between being rich and looking rich. Rich is freedom. Looking rich is maintenance. The tragedy is, most people are incredibly close to wealth without realizing it. They don't need a better job. They don't need perfect timing. They don't need luck. They need a different system. Because finance is less about math and more about behavior repeated consistently. Small decisions, repeated for long periods, create massive outcomes. And large incomes, repeated with poor behavior, create permanent stress. If someone spends 10 years upgrading lifestyle, they get comfort but no freedom. If someone spends 10 years upgrading ownership, they get freedom permanently. The years pass either way. The difference is what compounds: expenses or assets. So people don't stay broke because life is unfair. They stay broke because they unknowingly play a consumption game instead of an ownership game. Once you switch games, the timeline changes. At first, nothing happens. Then slowly, something happens. Then suddenly everything happens. And from the outside, it looks like luck. But it was simply patience. This channel exists to teach the ownership game step by step. Every video builds one part of the system. And if you understand this video, every other lesson will finally make sense. Because wealth is not built from intensity. It is built from direction applied consistently for long enough. And the moment you change direction, time starts working for you instead of against you.